Hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Yusuf, and I am doing this project with my partner.
My name is Ali.
We're doing this over Discord because, some unfortunate circumstances may have happened, but we are trying to tackle the long-term debate on which one is better, Xbox versus PlayStation, you could say a little bit unconventional testing, a little bit like that, but we're going to start off this presentation with a little bit of comparing the two systems, just like CPU-wise, graphic-wise, and I'll let Ali take over that.
For the comparison side, for the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5, we compared the two hardwares and each of their components. Head to head, both have a price range of $500. The CPU for PlayStation 5, it's 8 core, 3.5 gigahertz Zen 2, and for the Xbox Series X is a 3.8 gigahertz Zen 2. GPU, 10.3 teraflop RDNA 2 for the PS5 and 12.0 teraflop AMD RDNA 2 for the Series X. Both have 16 gig RAMs. PlayStation 5 has an 825 gigabyte custom SSD, where the storage for the Xbox Series X has a 1 terabyte custom SSD. Both have 8K resolution and both frame rates go up to 120. For the optical disk drive for PS5 is a 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray, where the optical disk drive for the Xbox Series S is a 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray.
While the... Next one.
Is that fine?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, bro.
Well, we're looking while we're comparing these systems, these really components and stuff are not what we're actually comparing, and we're actually comparing more user friendliness in general things. So both consoles are designed to serve the same purpose, to allow gamers to play video games. In this case, since both consoles provide similar experiences, we want to see which one is better to game on. Necessarily not game on, but which is easier and user friendly. Both consoles are similar in price ranges. However, we look to determine which one is a truly better experience for the user by comparing interface, storage, speed, and which one more is enjoyable to the user. Going to the next slide, our tasks are for this is, like I mentioned, we're going for more of a user-friendly. We're checking out to test to see how long it takes to find and open the same game, find settings and connect to the internet, add a friend, start a party, invite added friend to a party. So the users that we want to look at are not people who have, played on these consoles, but people who have played on, previous Xbox and PlayStations, but haven't really played on the next-gen consoles, so they do have similar experiences.
For the usability goal requirement, we have the 5... I said okay, I won't say anymore. Alright, I'm sorry. For the usability goal requirement, we have 5 tasks: opening up a game, finding setting, getting connected to Wi-Fi, adding friends, starting party, and inviting game to party. The go time for that is 30 seconds for opening a game, 120 for finding settings, adding friend is 120, starting party 60, inviting a game is 120. But for that, we have that as the designated goal requirement. But if the user needs assistance, there's a time before assistance requirement, which is over like 120. It differentiates for each task. So that's for the right side. It shows if the user's not able to do that in a given time. So
do that. And then we look at the user experience goal requirements. So tasks are rated on a scale of A to F. So based on how easy and enjoyable these are, with F being the worst and A being the best, obviously B or better should be the goal for each console, considering the price range and all that kind of stuff factors in. The goal was chosen as these consoles cost a good amount of money and should meet these standards like I mentioned. So we got the consoles, the Xbox Series X versus the PlayStation 5. We got 10 adults. Ages, we wanted to go for a little bit more of an older age, so people who have experience with the PlayStation, Xbox, but not somebody who's younger who would use it daily. And then for this study, the participants have no familiar experience with the new gen PS5 or Xbox Series S, but do have older versions of Xbox and PlayStation, like Xbox 360 or Xbox One or PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 3. Experimental design. The design of our experiment was topical and well balanced. 10 participants were randomly assigned to one of the two groups, with one of the participants first completing the task on the Xbox and then the same task on the PlayStation was assigned to complete. The other group performed the task in reverse order on the console. Ultimately, all users had to complete the task on both consoles. The selected was a relatively simple task that consoles users would normally perform. The tasks were ordered from most useful to least. The users performed the task in the order specified while evaluators timed for each task. Now the methods we use, half performed on the task on Xbox and half on PlayStation, all performed at Ali's house. Each task begins as soon as you power on the console and sign on. So as soon as you sign on to your account, we gave them a controller and then they took it over from there. The evaluators, we announced the task and took the time for how long it takes the user to complete that task. After each participant graded their experience with the task A to F, which we had a paper that we made them sign and a consent form, which we will show later on. Now Ali can take this from here.
For the pilot test result for participant 1, opening game took about 47 seconds. Settings and stuff, Wi-Fi 146, adding friend 130, starting party 78, and inviting game and party is 96 seconds. We told the user to rate the experience for each task and they provided it to the right. And then for going on, we did that same evaluation for the Series X, and this is data that came out how long it took for the participant to do each of the tasks, and the rating is on the right as well. Another pilot test, we had a second participant, same task, same results, and the rating is on the right. Time. This is for Series X, participant 2.
And we went through all these participants. We don't have to show you exactly all the things because we're going to go into detail a little bit more, but we just put these slides just to show you guys exactly, like a little bit more in detail breakdown of everything. And then we did have the usability test results, like the PS5 mean, and the series mean. I'm not going to go into individual numbers or anything like that, but you can see all the statistics here. Standard deviation, the mean difference, all this we calculated through StatCrunch and Excel and stuff like that. Hopefully all our numbers are good, but this is what we went through a little bit, going through the usability test results. And then we did the usability test analyst for PS5, the t-values, the p-values, for all the different tasks that we assigned, the total time, and then the rejection of the null hypothesis, yes or no, or whatever that is. And then we also obviously did the Xbox Series X, and what those results were as well. So you guys could see these statistics. You guys can, if you guys want to read them, you guys can see them, but they are right here. And then we did to check out the grading scales and what different grading scales every single one got on the experience. You guys can see again PS5, Xbox mean. We literally kind of determined that finding settings and connecting to Wi-Fi was probably the hardest part of all of these tasks. Everything else was pretty much seemingly pretty easy. People that have a little bit more difficulty finding the settings and connecting the Wi-Fi on the PlayStation. For me, even like just personal bias, I think Xbox makes it a little bit more easier. But PlayStation, you got to find it a little bit, and the users did definitely reflect that a little bit. And then we got the mean difference and the standard deviation and all that for the experience test results. Also, the test analysis, we have the t-value and the p-value. A lot of that stuff. Obviously, we got a lot of numbers here. I don't want to go and bore you guys and go down and read every single one, but you guys could read it, look back at it if you guys want to see it. We got the PlayStation 5 first one, and then we got the Series X one right here also of the t-value and p-values. These are all the summary statistics. I might go down a little bit some of these, like you can see some of the means of the variable ones and variable 2, variable 3, variable 4, variable 5. This is the PlayStation 5 ones. This is like a full breakdown of everything, and you guys can see the mean was for all of them. For the different tasks and the different columns and stuff like that goes into that. And then same here for the Xbox. A little bit of a breakdown of basically all that. So this is our conclusion. Most tasks were similar, but it's determined that Xbox was easier to use, especially with the harder tasks. we determined that, like I said, with the Wi-Fi and connecting to the Wi-Fi and settings was the harder task. We knew that would be a harder task because you have to actually click a little bit more buttons to do that, and it's not like, oh, just pressing party or inviting someone or just finding a game or opening that up or any of the easier different tasks. We determined that each task was a little bit easier and more user friendly. Now, I want to make this clear that we didn't test anything like game wise, performance wise, or anything like this. This was a purely user friendliness and to find simple tasks and which one was easier for people who have previous experience with old gen consoles but are not really haven't touched the new gen consoles yet. Like either haven't not interested in it or haven't got their hands on it yet. Most of these people that we tested, they wanted to remain, we made sure we signed a consent form so everyone's anonymous, but most of them were like people who you would not expect to own a console, you could say that, or like own a next-gen console, those type of people who we selected for this. So in terms of user friendliness alone, we're not taking any other console features into account, but we could determine from this study that Xbox is definitely the more user-friendly console. Now, this was the task rating little sheet that we made. Find and open the game, find settings and connect to the internet, add a friend, start a party, invited added friend to a party in a game. So like if you guys play Call of Duty Warzone, like in the task 3 where you had to add a friend, you're gonna invite that friend that you added to a party and a game. So this was like the user suggestion, and then this is the last slide where we have is the consent form. I'll read this out to you guys. The goal of the experiment was to check which one was easier to use the PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X. User friendliness only. You will be asked to perform 5 different tasks. We will record the amount of time it takes you to complete each task. We will also ask how you would rate your experience for A to F, and review and comment the experience. The experience should not take more than 10 minutes, and there's no risk for any of the participants, and all information from the users will be kept confidential. Please sign below if you agree. So that's what we did. I would like to thank you guys for listening, and Ali would like to thank you guys also.
I also wanted to note one last thing. In terms of personal bias, I myself am a PlayStation 5 user, and Yusuf here is a Series X. So both contradict each other. So in terms of personal bias, I think it reduces the idea of it. And at the end of the day, we chose Series X, but just wanted to note that.
All right, thank you guys so much for listening to our presentation, and I will see you guys in class for the final.
Yeah, sorry we couldn't make it